My opinion about Bristol, may not want to hear it. I didn't think it was a very good race. I go back to the days of Bristol when it was like it was. It was a bump and run racetrack. To pass somebody, you had to bump them and move them out of the way. That's old time racing, folks. That's the way all racing used to be. Particularly on the dirt tracks in the Carolinas where NASCAR was really born. So what happened? You remember several years ago, Bruton Smith decided to change Bristol. I was president of Speedway then. I think I know a little bit about racing. I was never asked my opinion about what to do. That's neither here nor there, I guess. But the end result is they spent lots of money, millions. And they made the track worse because all of a sudden it became a two-groove track. There was plenty of room on it. It was like Michigan. You could run anywhere you wanted to with it. The drivers liked it, but guess what? The fans didn't. And by two races, those grandstands were as empty as a cave in Kentucky. Now, last night they came back to have a decent crowd, not great. But the racing wasn't great. The racing is not what Bristol used to be. Again, the aero push jumps in, where the lead car takes off and goodbye, and it never got it. Now, I think the biggest disappointment I had was at the end. You had two of the best racers in NASCAR, Matt Kenseth and Casey Kane. Now, I want to tell you, those two guys will put you in the fence or do whatever it is. I mean, they're not dirty race drivers, they're just tough race drivers. There should have been a run side by side down to the last lap, and it didn't happen. And I think that tells us a lot about two things. It tells us a lot about the so-called new Bristol track. Two, it tells us about the Gen 6 car and the fact we haven't solved the aero push problem. NASCAR's working on it. If they do get it solved, we're going to get back to old-time racing. But it hadn't been solved yet. So that's my take on Bristol. And I hope it gets better because it's a great little track. A lot of people enjoy it. It's very well run. But folks, it just didn't get it last night.